Hello, welcome to Guide to the Unknown. I'm Kristen.
And I'm her little brother, William.
And it's a special day. It's a special time of year. I know that everybody's freaking out a little bit because everybody loves my birthday.
There's a part of me that it does annoy me that you announced it instead of like, I have to sort of like drag it up and you resist. That you're so energetic about your birthday.
I love my birthday.
Foreign to me. I don't...
It's a special day. It's a holiday that's all about you.
That's what Satanists say.
Yeah.
Satanists celebrate one holiday and it's their own birthday.
I know. I've got a speck of Satanism to me.
Do you?
I guess.
A touch of the macabre?
I definitely have a touch of the macabre.
Well, who doesn't? It benefits us well here in the Netherworld.
That's true. So anyway, because my birthday is this week, my birthday is November 30th. So it's in the past when you will be listening to this as it comes out.
This is a liminal space right now because we're recording the day before Kristen's birthday.
Yes.
But this is going to hit everybody's podcast apps and stuff a couple of days past your birthday.
So the time is prime.
Really neither
for
here nor
ghostly
there.
things to happen.
I suppose so.
Mm-hmm. What we are doing, because it was of my choosing, is looking at more Housewives clips that have to do with the paranormal. Mm-hmm. And we're going to discuss them.
Now, Kristen this was like weeks ago.
It was 1 week ago.
It was only a week ago? I'm not sure. Time is weird for me these days.
Not this past Sunday, but the previous.
Okay, that's a good chunk of time ago.
Yeah.
We had already discussed, like, all right, well, it's going to be your birthday. Pick whatever topic you want to do.
Right.
Right. Kristen put together almost like a Wikipedia of moments, of paranormal moments or paranormal adjacent. A lot of like, they meet a psychic, the Housewives, or they have an energist, which is basically having like your own personal psychic that you pay.
Yeah.
Kristen pulled all these moments and time-stamped them for me.
Yeah.
Sometimes sending me clips just for me to watch that were only a couple minutes long, which I loved. Sometimes being like, okay, go on Peacock, season 3.
There were only a few.
Season 3, episode 10. Go about 27 minutes in, and then again about 38 minutes in.
There were only a few like that, and only when it was important.
I'm just saying, it was like almost encyclopedic. I'm like concerned that you didn't have to research or something. Like you were able to pluck these from your memory.
No, I seriously, it was like, and I'm not complaining, I really enjoyed myself. I think it took me 4 hours to compile that list.
God, that's crazy.
That was like all I did that Sunday.
Well, we have covered the Real Housewives before.
Yeah, we covered extensively the dinner party from hell, it's known as.
Right.
And I think we covered a couple of other little things in that episode, but that was the main thing. An episode of Real Housewives of Beverly Hills where Alison Dubois of the show Medium went to a dinner party at Camille Grammer's house, and everybody got into a fight, and she said crazy things.
Okay.
Things like, your husband will never emotionally fulfill you. Know that.
Know that.
Yeah.
You must know that.
It was awesome. And puffed on an e-cig before they were kind of widely known.
She was ahead of her time.
Yeah.
Now, I always cover this under duress of some sort. Back
then
it was because you had beaten me in a series of games.
Right.
And you had won the option to pick an episode.
Yes.
Here, I knew what I was getting myself into. I feel far less like I'm dragging my heels or anything.
You offered yourself up on a silver platter.
I did. I was a fool.
Mm-hmm.
And I still end up feeling like, even though I was like, well, I know what I'm getting into this time, I still watched all these clips and came away being like, I feel like there was another game afoot.
What do you mean?
Even if you don't realize what you have done by sending me those clips, I feel like you did something to me.
What do you mean?
And I want to talk about this.
Did I indoctrinate you? Did you enjoy yourself? Is that what it is?
Kristen,
is that really what it is?
Kristen, I had a great time.
You know, I gotta tell you.
I had a goddamn blast.
I gotta tell you,
watching these Real Housewives.
I wondered.
Yeah.
Like, it wasn't a guarantee to me, but I thought to myself, I think Will might, like, there's enough here that it would kind of, like, ease you in, and you might actually kind of like it.
There was a lot of meat on that bone.
Yeah.
And I sank my teeth in.
This is good.
So, like I mentioned, you spent, what,
I think it was 4 hours.
48 hours, something like this, no sleep.
Right.
Pulling together a list of things for us to discuss. We will get to the actual moments, I promise.
Mm-hmm.
But because you labeled things by being like, watch this episode, watch, season 2, episode 3.
Yeah.
At 21 minutes. and then watch it again at 27 minutes.
Right.
I didn't fast. I was like, I'll just watch from 21 minutes to 27
really?
minutes.
So I believe
it was
that
like an insidious game you played. Again, whether or not you were aware of what you did with your mind
I definitely
games,
didn't.
I just went, well, the more efficient thing to do is to just watch that
It's
entire
not more
span.
efficient, but okay.
Well, it's not. You're right. It's not more efficient to spend more
Whatever
time
you
on
need
it.
to tell yourself. I believe it was New Jersey primarily that you
Yes.
had to go to Peacock for.
And oh my God, do I have things to say about the New Jersey people? But we'll get there.
And that's a great season. That's season 2, where Danielle Staub is like really on one. So I can see why you would have enjoyed that.
There's also an argument to be made that by being like, start watching at 10 minutes and then watch again at 20 minutes.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know how long I'm supposed to watch at 10 minutes, right? Like the show will basically be like, she's talking to an energist or whatever here, and then the phone call ends and there's a new scene. So I can sort of be like, all right, I guess I should stop watching now. But by being like, you watch here and then go away, come back here.
Yeah.
It's like you left this ambiguous void.
I just didn't want to overload you.
A black hole. A curiosity space.
Right.
And I, as a storied Zelda player,
of course.
yes, I did just beat Oracle of Ages and Seasons using the entire password linking system.
Nice.
When I see a cave, I venture in
Uh-huh.
because there might be some sort of a prize or like a treasure inside. And there was. When I watched in between the moments that you sent me, I found treasure.
Oh my God. Tell me more about this.
We'll get to it when we get to New Jersey.
Okay. All right.
Let's go in order.
I'm very happy to hear this.
I was in shock.
This is great. Like I said, a little part of me wondered, but I didn't even dare to hope.
This is indoctrination of the highest order.
Nice.
I don't think that I will ever watch this show.
No, I don't expect you to.
But did I get a kick?
But maybe if there's something that I think is especially fun and in this realm, perhaps I will just personally be able to send you a clip here and there, knowing that you might enjoy.
I would welcome it.
Great.
I had fun.
That's fantastic.
I would even dare say, forget whether or not I'm under duress. I would say any of these goddamn cockamamie nonsense shows.
All right, cool up there.
If you deem it like appropriate for Guide to the Unknown, bring it. I had a blast. I would love to watch more.
Okay, great.
I'd be thrilled to watch more. Real Housewives or whatever other piece of crap, junk,
all right,
brain rot,
okay,
tooth decay.
That's enough.
Garbage.
It is my birthday. How dare you?
You're right. I'm sorry.
It's okay.
Anyway, bring it.
Yeah.
I'd be thrilled to watch.
Okay, great.
So the first clip you sent me was Real Housewives of Beverly Hills.
Yeah, and I started here because that's where we left off. So I wanted to continue the conversation.
Holy shit. You considered continuity of like the previous Real Housewives of the Netherworld episode that we did?
Yes.
Wow. Look at you.
I know.
Birthday
I also
girl.
ordered them in importance.
What do you mean?
The things I thought were like most
like
essential that I wanted you to watch just in case you didn't make it through the whole list.
Oh, so this is the most important actually to you.
Well, no, that was continuity, and then the rest is like the meatiest cities.
Okay, so we'll start with continuity
Yeah,
because
yeah.
we left off with Beverly Hills, I guess. Not that I can recall.
We did, yes.
They had a Wiccan cast member in season 4, which aired in 2014, which you wanted to call out.
Yeah.
Now, how do you want to do? You're sitting here looking at me with this like.
I just want to hear your thoughts. Let's just explain
You've
what
got
the
a cookie-eating
scene is.
grin on your face, and I sense that you are like just. You want me to tell you what I saw?
I guess kind of, and what you thought about it.
Okay.
Like we'll just discuss the scenes that were laid out, and then your thoughts.
Okay, so there's a cast member on the show who is
Yeah.
a Wiccan,
Carlton Gebbia.
Carlton Gebbia.
Yeah.
And so all of the housewives of Beverly Hills go to Carlton's house, which I guess this is the first time that they've ever been there. And so
Yeah.
they're almost sort of just reacting to the way she's chosen to decorate her home.
She has kind of like a gothic castle aesthetic.
Yes.
There are lots of like iron or, like wrought iron crosses and stuff like that. And like the chairs at her dining room table are all like kind of mini thrones, and there's like a big throne.
Yes, big throne at the head of the table.
Mm-hmm.
She refuses because there's an odd number of them. She says
Right.
one person must sit at the end. You have to.
Mm-hmm.
So somebody has to take the big throne. And she picks the Kyle, who played Lindsay Wallace
Yes.
in the Halloween movies.
Yeah.
Little Lindsay Wallace from the original and in the most recent trilogy.
All grown up.
All grown up. She is made to sit at the head of the table. But really what's going on is not them just reacting to the house, which I think looks really cool. Like
Yeah.
this like modern gothic Mary Shelley. I called it in my notes. I described it as Bam Margera chic.
Yeah, it's a little tacky, but
Yeah,
fun.
It is. Like Bam Margera on the show
Right.
Viva La Bam
It is like Bam's house.
bought a castle
Yeah.
in Westchester, Pennsylvania, which his mom April then decorated so that it's got like this like filigreed wallpaper, but it's all purples and blacks and wrought iron thrones and stuff like that. It looks like grown-up Bam Margera.
Yeah, it does.
But everybody's really just sort of being really curious about Carlton's beliefs.
Yeah, her practices.
And I would say that Lindsay Wallace, little Lindsay Wallace, is the most annoying
Yeah.
to Carlton
I think that's true. It
about her
seems
Wiccan beliefs.
so. I didn't watch this whole season as it aired.
Yeah.
This was a lull in Beverly Hills history. Carlton was a one and done.
Oh, really?
Yes.
So she was here and then gone.
Right. As was somebody named Joyce.
Is that unusual?
No, it's not. It's not super unusual. It happens sometimes. Yeah,
The cast wrote, it's like Sesame Street.
kind of.
Like
And some
Mr.
people
Hooper's
don't.
gone.
They don't click with the group, so then they're gone.
Do they try to explain to like the viewers why a person's no longer here?
No, they just don't come back next season, and everybody knows
See, they don't. You don't do that on Sesame Street. You address the absence.
that would be healthy.
That would be healthy.
Yeah,
But Real Housewives
not healthy.
ain't healthy.
No.
These people are unwell.
Yes.
There's some like crazy bonkers stuff I saw.
Oh yeah.
So I wrote down a lot of quotes. I just took quotes.
Great.
Of people, all
Great.
right? So they go into Carlton's garden where there are spheres, like metallic spheres or glass spheres,
Right.
and they go, "What are all these balls?" And like they keep
They're
calling
called
them,
gazing balls a lot.
they kept calling them balls, and I could tell it was getting under Carlton's skin because it's like making fun,
Yeah.
right? But then she goes, "Well, they have a lot of names: witches balls, Victorian balls." And I was like, "You're not helping yourself."
Right. They're always just balls.
But she says they grab negative energy and they trap them.
Yeah. I was not familiar with this.
I'm not familiar with that at all, but it made me think of Phantasm.
Oh yeah.
The tall man has those silver orbs.
Right.
And they can contain spirits and stuff like that.
Maybe that's what Carlton's doing with them.
Like, Carlton's a bit of a tall man.
Yeah.
And then, what's her name? Kyle?
Kyle.
Lindsay Wallace?
Yeah.
She's like trying to talk over everybody. She goes, "So you're a witch? I've known witches. I've known some witches. My mom used to say that she was a witch. I think she was trying to scare us. She was trying to say that she was a witch. Remember? Yeah, other people are talking."
Right.
And she's like shouting over them. And she keeps going, "When I think of a witch, I think of a broom. And like a wart on the end of like a long crooked nut. No. Because when I think of a witch, I think of a broom." Gotta be the center of everybody. Everybody's doing this all at once.
Totally. Kyle's role on Beverly Hills somewhat is like kind of the every woman. Every show, every franchise, or most of them have somebody who's kind of the Greek chorus.
Okay.
And Kyle is usually the most normal of everybody. Not always, but she at least likes to position herself
On
that
the
way.
clips you showed me.
No. So she's trying to be nice. She's like, "Oh, remember Kim, our mom would always say that she was a witch," being like, "I don't think it's weird," or whatever.
Meanwhile, she's
Right.
being
She's
like, I think
sucking
of
up all the air in the
wart
room.
on the nose. You're right.
Yeah.
And then somebody asks, and Carlton just keeps being like, "I think it's pretty rude to be asking these questions."
It's
saying
in a
these
talking head,
things."
right? That she's
Yeah.
saying that? Yeah.
And then somebody asks her, "Have you ever explored with witchcraft?" And she seems completely put off. And in her talking head, she said, "It's bloody rude. You want to find out about me? Get to know me."
I don't think it's really that rude.
It's a question.
Yeah.
You put yourself out there as a Wiccan.
Right.
Most people are not Wiccan.
So they're
And
curious.
there's a reputation. They expect you to have some sort of a
Yes.
sense of humor.
No, not Carl.
Something. No,
Carlton,
she
no.
does not. So she eventually opens up a little bit. She says, "Yes, I am a witch, Wicca, which is what I practice. The white side, which is Mother Nature all-encompassing, is truly about the miracles that exist on this planet." All right?
Yes.
But then she says this in her talking head still. "Have I practiced dark? I have practiced dark. Not saying dark magic.
I know.
I've
I know.
practiced dark.
Yeah, I guess because she was talking about white magic
It sounds like
before.
Trump. I practiced dark. I've practiced white. I've practiced dark. Like
She also has
Weird.
a very alarming tan, as does Trump. So maybe there's
yeah.
something else in common.
But now I practice light, and that's all I practice because I have children, and I would never go to the dark side.
Go to the dark side.
Not again.
Yeah. It's pretty awesome.
Because she has practiced dark. This begs questioning.
Oh,
From those
absolutely.
depths, when did you practice the dark arts? Why did you practice the dark arts? This
I
is
know.
what I want to know.
They move away from it pretty quickly.
This is what I want to know.
They really just sort of like use her as a curiosity in that little moment and then just sort of marvel at the weirdness of her house. And I don't think that her Wiccan practice is a central plot point of this season. And I would want it to be.
I think it's weirder for these things to come up in passing and
Yes.
not spend more time on them.
I absolutely agree.
That feels structurally bizarre.
It's very strange, but that was really all set up for you to get to something very important, which is Kyle's computer.
That is certainly true, but I do have other things to say.
Please.
Please.
Yeah.
May I have the floor?
Absolutely.
Her nanny walks in,
Yeah.
and they get into a conversation because the nanny is attractive.
Oh, right. Right.
And they're like, wouldn't you be uncomfortable like having like staff that are attractive?
Right.
And Carlton says, "Oh, I believe in having a hot nanny for my son."
Ew, I don't remember.
That's what she says. I wrote
For
it
her
down.
son?
Yeah.
Okay.
What?
Did
in
she say
addition
it
to
like
Wicca,
that? Could it
this
be?
is what she believes.
Yeah, right. Or was it like, I believe in having a hot nanny who's taking care of the son? Is it like a baby son or something?
What would that matter?
I don't know, but then it would just be like saying I believe in having a hot nanny, and you can take away like it's not the hotness isn't for her son.
No, it was the way that I certainly interpreted it. The hotness was for the son.
That's very weird.
Is a very odd thing.
That's not good.
It's funny to me that like I assume the rest of the season does not focus on Wicca this and Wicca that because she was uncomfortable. You know?
I don't know that that's why. I don't know. I think there's just other stuff going on, and I think that
Kristen.
Yeah.
There's nothing else going on. Let's
true.
face it.
You're right.
All the battles, they'll be there. They'll always be there. And they always have been. Let's make a little room.
Yeah.
This is odd and interesting.
Look, I'm with you. I'm just devil's advocating them. I think that they're like, it's not a priority to them.
I think Carlton did not want to really get into this. I think she was uncomfortable with it. I want a Wicca with a sense of humor and a lot of patience because I have stupid questions.
Yeah.
The other big thing, she has a huge bed.
Right.
Bed
Yeah.
with a cross.
Yes.
In the wood frame, like of the headboard. It looks like it's out of Castlevania.
Yeah, it definitely does.
Her house looks like Dracula's castle.
Yes.
And I like it.
Yeah, it's a wild looking home.
Kristen, I would live at Bam Margera's house.
You would? Really?
I know it's tacky. It's stupid.
I feel like you would get tired of looking at that day in, day out is the thing. I would certainly stay there for a weekend.
Maybe
to live in there all the time? I'm trying to work.
I know. Maybe I want like a themed room. No, because I like working in weird places.
But every
day I want to
like
work
that,
at the Three Broomsticks in Harry Potter Land, you know?
That's even different. But Bam Margera's house or her house, you can just go about your business and your life. You bathe your daughter in a room that looks crazy like that.
No, I want a more normal place for my child.
Right. I don't think so.
Maybe I have like Pee-wee's Playhouse.
Yeah.
Because it was implied that Pee-wee didn't live there, you know?
Yeah. It was his playhouse.
So what was up with that?
I don't know, man.
Because at the beginning of that episode, he had to get there on a scooter.
Right.
And then at the end of every episode, he hopped on a scooter and then like flew.
Yeah, to another planet.
To another place, to like a house.
Yes.
Is it the house we saw in Pee-wee's Big Adventure?
I guess so. I guess that is what's implied.
Mystery closed.
Yeah. Yeah, that's what makes sense.
We solved it.
Yeah.
All right, so we can now get to the computer. I apologize.
No, not a problem.
You describe it. This one's
okay,
on you.
So Kyle is talking to Joyce, and she says that there's a computer in her kitchen or something that all of a sudden started flashing freaky words like wraith. Mm-hmm. Do you have the words?
I have them. Bigot. Travesty.
And she shows her like photos that she's taken of them, I believe.
Yeah.
And it's just a blue background with like faint white writing.
Yes. And here's what she says. My computer in my kitchen for 2 years now has always been our family photo. I see something on the computer change. I turn to my left and I took pictures. So I go to my computer and the screen says bigot. So she believes that Carlton has
like hexed her computer somehow.
But she must really think technologically done something. Or does she think that witchcraft is
I don't know.
afoot.
I can't tell, but she's saying that Carlton did something, and I think it's implied that she used her witchcraft in some way. Or
Isn't
maybe
that
it's just that
too stupid?
Yes, it is too stupid. It never comes up again. This is not a recurring storyline. This is just an aside.
It's weird that it was allowed on.
I know. You know, they used to do these like kind of interstitial things on Housewives where there'd be a commercial break and then there'd be a little snippet and then more commercial break and then back into the show.
Yeah.
It feels like something like that, maybe.
Okay, perhaps.
Yeah.
Well, I looked at the comments.
Yeah.
And people kept talking about how it was part of an Apple Word of the Day screensaver. So I googled the Apple Word of the Day screensaver, and it looks exactly like what
So that's
she
what
had
it-
taken
William,
photos of.
Great job.
It was just the screensaver on her computer. But here's the crazy thing.
These were their freaky words, though.
When you Google Apple Word of the Day screensaver, you get people complaining that it put like the word Aryan
Oh,
on
what
their
the hell?
on their screen.
Yeah.
Like it put like offensive, potentially offensive, or
Well,
unsensitive,
yes.
insensitive terms that you could interpret
Yeah.
onto people's screens. And so people were like,
How about a light and fluffy word of the day?
how about a light and fluffy word? Fluffy.
Yeah.
Light.
love
These are
that.
the things that people want. But so it seems that they dedicated some airtime on Real Housewives of Beverly Hills
Mm-hmm.
to Kyle's screensaver.
It's so bizarre.
Under
I
the
just,
guise of it having been a bewitching, a
Right.
literal attack from a witch.
Right.
Yes.
It's delightful. I just had to get it in there.
It's well, I was delighted to see it.
Now, we can. So I have some questions for you.
Please.
And even though I
My
said
life
before.
is an open book.
Excellent. Even though I said before that I had sent them to you in order of priority,
Yeah.
I don't think we necessarily need to be wed to the order that I put them in.
Hmm.
I would like to know, first question, and I think this will dictate our next move, is there any particular city that you enjoyed spending time in more than others?
It's not a city, it's a state.
Franchise. Okay.
New Jersey.
New Jersey. Okay.
New Jersey.
All right. So let's talk about New
I
Jersey.
have a lot of feelings about New Jersey.
Let's talk about New Jersey.
Okay, I have almost no notes about New Jersey because it is
Not a problem.
crazy.
And because now it's just inside you.
It
You don't
is.
need the notes.
It is.
All right. Off the top, what are you thinking?
So, first of all, this is not a New Jersey that I know.
I know. This is completely foreign. We live in New Jersey.
We're in central New Jersey right now. Maybe
Mm-hmm.
this is like closer to New York or
It's
something.
northern.
It's yeah.
Yep.
This is not a world I'm familiar with.
It's
There is-
Franklin Lakes.
Never even heard of it. Mm-hmm. There is one moment where a woman is getting to her car, and it's like in the parked right now in the middle of like a strip mall,
Yeah.
and I was like, "There's my New Jersey."
Yeah, that I know.
Where I'm like,
So I
"There's
think
probably,
that
like,
was
a Chipotle
Jacqueline.
just out of frame somewhere here."
Was it Jacqueline outside of Posh
I don't
to
know.
talk to Danielle's energist?
Yes.
Yeah,
okay.
yeah.
So here we are. Okay. So my understanding is, because again, I'm watching these clips without context, so I'm not
Right.
familiar with of all the ins and outs. So I'm only able to pick things up here and there.
Yeah. And I'm happy to answer any questions that you have.
Some sort of a horrific attack happened.
All right, what Will is talking about is the fight at the Posh Fashion Show for
Don't
anybody.
talk to these people like everybody's on
anybody
your
who's
page.
indoctrinated.
The fight at the Posh Fashion Show. How about there was a fight at a fashion show? Not everybody has an encyclopedic knowledge of these things.
Many do.
Very well.
Many do. I know that at least one of our
Speak to
listeners.
your base. Speak to your base.
I know that at least one of our listeners went to BravoCon.
Oh, I
So
thought you were gonna say like Bravo College or something. Like one of our listeners studied this. BravoCon. Wow.
yeah, yep. So they know
That's got to
of-
be a shit show. Is it like all
Yes.
the cast members of all these shows
Yes.
throwing chairs at each other and fighting?
No. They're being civil, but they are
They have like a treaty, an armistice, or some
at
sort
least
of a
then
pact.
at least somewhat. You know, like
Okay.
things did get a little hostile at the last BravoCon, but not violent. So anyway, there's a fashion show, and
Housewives,
assemble.
assemble.
Danielle is the villain of the show.
We've sworn peace. At the
We're on-
Showboat Casino.
Neutral ground.
Yes. It has to take place in a city where there's not a Real Housewives show, right? Because if
Well-
any one of them has like the home team advantage.
It was in New York,
Oh shit.
so
Oh no.
But I think the thing is, like, Andy lives in New York. That's where Watch What Happens is filmed. Like,
Andy
that's Bravo.
Cohen.
Yeah.
You're using his first name.
Yes.
You're not even helping me.
Sorry.
You're
You're right.
You're
You're right.
just saying Andy.
You're absolutely right.
Very
Andy
well.
Cohen.
Okay.
So anyway, so Danielle in New Jersey, to go back to what you watched,
Yes.
Danielle is the villain of New Jersey for the 2 seasons that she's on it. She makes a mark that it reverberates through the generations.
Is she the Thanos? No, because there needs to be a big enemy that all of the shows are against.
Right.
So she's more like the Red Skull or something.
Yeah, I suppose so. Right. She could be somewhat of a Thanos, maybe. Okay. But anyway, so like Danielle's a mess. She is very out there. And at this fashion show, there is a physical fight, and she gets her hair pulled. So that's what's being referred to.
A brutality.
That's right.
Yes.
That's right. So that's what's going on.
Okay, so she got her hair pulled.
Yeah.
And then the girl who pulled her hair posted something on her Facebook.
Right,
something
it was the
funny.
daughter of a cast member.
Tonight was unbelievable.
She pulled out her extension.
But Danielle is saying she did not pull out an extension. She pulled out my hair.
Yeah, but
she showed the bald spot to a friend.
Yes.
She's saying her hair got ripped out, not a weave.
But later on, through court case and stuff, this is a whole thing.
This went to court?
Yes, it did.
Oh my God.
I think that Ashley, who pulled her hair, I think got community service or something. It's that she pulled out hair that was attached to a hair extension. So it was both, to be fair. So it's not that she pulled out a humongous chunk of her hair, but she did pull out some hair as she was pulling out an extension.
Shouldn't do this at
No.
all.
No.
Right? Hands off.
For sure.
Right? But so Danielle, you're saying, had this coming? What's your stance?
I wouldn't say that, but no, Danielle
described her as the villain. Do you
she is,
have
but
some sort of a vendetta against
I don't
this person?
condone violence.
You know, we could drive to the Franklin Lakes.
We certainly could. I've driven past Franklin Lakes, and you have too without thinking about it a million times, like on the way to Long Island.
Never again. Now I'll be thinking, I'll be noticing and
That's
thinking.
true. That's true.
So anyway. Danielle has an energist,
yes.
she calls her, Zen Jen.
Oh, that's a different person.
All right, whatever. She has an energist who she's friends with.
Yeah.
Who is like a personal psychic?
Basically, yes.
Basically.
Yes.
So like a confidant or a therapist or something.
Yeah.
But I assume without all of the pesky licensing.
I think that is very safe to assume. And I think it's unusual that your therapist call you, which is what happens in the episode. Doesn't her energist call her on her car phone?
Yes.
Or, through the Bluetooth?
She absolutely does, because Danielle goes like, oh my God.
She's like, hi, honey.
You must have felt me thinking about you, because just before I was thinking about you.
Yep.
And I'm like, oh, these people are
I know.
not clear thinkers.
No, absolutely not.
So her energist calls her, and they get to talking about this hair attack.
Yeah.
And the energist says, why don't you give me the phone number
I know.
of one of the people who you're fighting with?
I needed you to see this, yeah.
I couldn't believe this, because I kept putting myself in everyone's shoes. Everybody's shoes, really.
Yeah.
Trying to imagine, what would I do? First of all, none of this would have happened.
Of course.
But what would I do?
Yeah.
So the Danielle does give her energist the phone number of one of her bullies.
Yeah, of Jacqueline. It's the mother of the girl who pulled out her extension.
Understood. Okay. So now we're treated to the moment that the energist calls Jacqueline, who's getting in her call at a classic New Jersey strip mall.
Yeah.
And is like, hi, I'm calling you because I'm working with Danielle.
It's so absurd.
It sounds like she's getting a phone call from like a lawyer for a second.
Yeah, yeah.
And then she's like, and then it becomes clear that she's her energist. And she's like, so I just wanted to try a few things. And Jacqueline basically goes like, whatever you're doing with her, it isn't working. So you better work harder on Danielle, because
yeah,
she's a monster.
It's not going so hot.
It's not going so hot. And the energist, what an upsell. She is like the greatest
I know
salesperson of all time. She goes, well, I don't want to talk about my client. I can't talk about my clients, which is like, yes, you can.
Yeah,
there
you
is
certainly
no,
can.
I don't know what certification board an energist answers to.
Right.
I don't know what code of ethics you're bound by.
Her personal code,
I suppose. But so she goes, I really want to talk more about you and give you some tools and tricks so that you're not as bothered by Danielle.
Yeah.
This is the most presumptuous.
I know. Well, she's going to like read her aura.
This is
or something.
Garbage.
Yes.
I cannot tell you how much I would love to get a phone call like
I know,
this.
to have them pursue you.
Ooh. Oh, how sweet.
I would
it
lose my
be.
mind.
How delicious.
I know. If somebody called me on behalf of like, I don't think I have any like former friends like that. If somebody called me on behalf of an ex or something.
Of an enemy.
Yeah, a sworn enemy. And said that they were that person's energist. And they just wanted to talk to me so that we could clear like the etheric
to work
air.
on you.
Yeah.
Pro bono.
It's so crazy.
We're going to perform a cleansing ritual in this New Jersey parking lot.
Well, these things do happen outside of space and time. So the energist...
What? Why'd you just say that so matter of fact? We talk about
And, anything to do with your etheric body, your aura, whatever.
They happen outside of space and time?
Yes.
It was happening at the same time. They were on the phone at the same time.
Well, maybe...
Phones work on time, not space.
That's true. But I'm saying this lady can access Jacqueline's whatever she needs to, even though she's not by Jacqueline. So maybe I'm just making a point about space
Understood.
at the moment.
You believe this?
I don't know.
Okay.
Yeah. But so she starts like scanning Jacqueline's aura basically from afar, and Jacqueline.
I think she's sitting on a toilet wherever she is. I don't believe this for 1 minute.
And Jacqueline just starts playing a game on her phone.
This was like comedic in the extreme though, because it was the show going out of its way to show she was not playing that game. They were like, by the way, why is the camera rolling just as she's getting in her car in a parking lot? They knew this call was coming in.
Of course.
I know I'm not supposed to pay attention to these things.
Yeah.
But I'm only flesh and blood.
I know.
I don't watch this.
I know. I'm used to this world.
I don't watch this crap all the time.
You're
camera's
not,
waiting for this phone call to come in. And
you're
they
not
already
desensitized.
clearly decided the energist will call it X time or something. Or just been like, we're ready, we're rolling, and action, make the phone call.
Totally.
And part of the gag was you're going to play this like, match the shapes game on the call and look disinterested.
Yeah.
But they have their cake and eat it too, because the energist on the phone starts going like, okay, so lift your arms, cleanse your aura. And Jacqueline in the car does like lift her arms. For, like she does participate.
In a very half-assed way.
But still, like, which is it? Is she doing it or is she staring at her phone, scrolling and doing
I think
stuff?
it's possible they didn't say like, because I don't think it's...
You think she's improvising all this?
Yes, I honestly do. I think that they set up situations sometimes, like, okay, Danielle's person is going to call you.
Okay.
And we're going to be there. It's not, from my understanding, usually scripted that way. So yeah, I think she might have been trying a little bit, and then she's like, I'm bored.
Okay.
And pulled out her phone.
I do love this scenario that somebody on behalf of your foe calls to get you to work on something about yourself.
I know.
Uh-uh.
It's just gonna help everyone.
No. And I will say that Jacqueline and the energist almost seem to like hit it off.
Yeah.
Where Jacqueline's even like, so you do this? Like, you do this all the time? And I'm like, don't hire this person.
No, I don't think she...
This is a racket.
She seemed like she was just being a little bit friendly to a stranger. I didn't get the sense that she was putting too much stock in it, as exemplified by her playing the match 3 game.
Fair enough. So this is where I watched more.
You kept going.
If you'll permit me to go off the energist, psychics, and
by all means
mystical side, I'd like to talk about some good, hard, nuts and bolts New Jersey shenanigans.
Okay.
After the break.
Yeah. All right. So if you like the show and you would like to help support the show, you can go to patreon.com/GTTUpod. You can choose from a number of different tiers that we have and make a monthly donation, and in return get tons of bonuses. We actually have a second podcast called the Netherworld Dispatch that comes out every single Monday, and the demon tier gets that one. So go to patreon.com/GTTUpod, explore a little bit and see what feels best for you. And thank you so much to the awesome people who already do that on Patreon, who you get to hang out with online when you join, because we also have a Discord that is particular to our Patreon members. And it's really awesome. People are talking in there every single day, just chatting about life, chatting about different entertainment, giving suggestions, and it's the best.
You know what I'm doing? I was tweeting stuff, and then I was like, you know what? Who knows what's going on with social media? And admittedly, we don't own Discord or anything like
Yeah.
that, so it's a similar third-party system or whatever.
Right.
I'm pumped about the Discord right now because Twitter might melt, or it's like just like really
I know.
insecure. You should check your passwords, change your passwords. I don't know.
I know. There's somebody in the Discord who said that one of their friends works in IT and is hearing in circles that it is extremely unstable.
Yes.
Safety-wise right now, Twitter.
So here's what I'm trying to tell you. I
Yeah.
watched Scream 5 again.
Yes.
And I posted a million little thoughts as I was watching it, and I just dropped them all in the Discord.
Yeah, it was awesome.
And I think I'm going to keep that up.
Yeah.
I had a goddamn blast, and it's all in there, and I'm chatting with people. If you're scared of social media, the Guide to the Unknown Discord is where you should go. Like-minded individuals.
Definitely.
Talk about stuff that's not spooky, but you're talking about it with people who have a shared interest with you underlying it all.
I definitely participate in the Discord more than any other social media. I lurk
I think
elsewhere
you're almost
mostly.
like you are almost like inactive on social media, which I think is appropriate and healthy.
Yeah, but I do talk and stuff in Discord. I like it.
Yeah. Also, the Netherworld Dispatch, the most recent episode, we watched the show Paranormal State.
Yes.
It's a little Ghost Adventures, granted a different TV series, but
Yep.
the same reactions to ghost hunting shenanigans. So go check that out.
Yeah.
Now, if you like Guide to the Unknown, but you hate Kristen, right?
Here's your chance.
Here's your chance. TheMythTraveler.com. All kinds of stories. All of my work is there. Go check it out. Scripts. I've got a lot of stuff in the works. Some really goofy stuff that I want to post soon, and maybe some more interactive event stuff I want to do there in storytelling.
Awesome.
So go check that out. TheMythTraveler.com. But of course you don't hate Krissy. It's
Oh,
Krissy's birthday. Why would I even make that joke? It's very insensitive of me.
William, come on. I've got a thick skin. I'm fine.
TheMythTraveler.com.
I'm a huge baby. It's not true.
So let's talk about New Jersey.
Yeah. Yeah. So what did you see when you went further?
I saw a lot.
I don't remember what else happened in this episode.
Talk to me about Teresa.
Oh boy. I mean, what do you want to know? What did you see that you, because that's a huge thing. What do you have questions about?
I take it that Teresa was part of this dust up with Danielle.
Oh, definitely.
Plucking the hair out.
So she basically was like chasing Danielle essentially, but there was a huge crowd of people in between them. It's really just that Ashley reached Danielle because people were holding Teresa back.
So she might have gotten there first.
Yes.
Teresa, I think, not to be insensitive and unkind,
Okay.
I think she's sort of a New Jersey stereotype.
She is. She certainly is.
Brash,
Yep.
bombastic,
Loud.
hyperbolic, histrionic. She was telling her husband the story.
Juicy Joe. Oh, I know what scene you were watching now.
Juicy Joe. Is that
Yeah.
his name? He looks like he's full of juice.
Yes. You know that they both went to jail, right? Do you not know that?
Can't wait. Tell me all about it.
So
The
Joe.
same jail, like a sitcom, like they live in a jail cell together.
No, the one went and then the other went because they have children. It's
Okay.
honestly very sad. Joe is a huge asshole, and he.
You don't say.
Yeah, I know.
I couldn't tell by the complete lack of interest he had in his wife. He was actively like rude to her,
Yeah.
and I've never seen somebody be more disinterested in the person they're married to. It was like that old cartoon about married couples.
Right.
Of being like the old ball and like he seemed sick of her.
He is completely that. He is disgusting. He has called her the C word on camera before.
Oh.
Not at this point, but in general. He is or was in like construction or something and was doing shady dealings
Kristen.
and had Teresa sign something. So they were both in it.
You can't arrest a husband and wife for the same crime.
I guess, but you kind of can. I don't know exactly the ins
worst
and outs.
attorneys. It's from Arrested Development.
Oh, right. But so, yeah, they both went to prison.
Kristen, I don't know how this reflects on me. I saw him, and maybe I'm an energist. I knew all
The
of
psychics
this.
have said that.
I think I knew everything you just
They're
told
also
me.
very famous. Like, I think that even if you don't watch Housewives, I feel like you could catch it on the air. They during this period when that happened, they were on magazine covers about this. It was a big deal.
I ain't reading magazines.
But if you're waiting at Rite Aid and there's a Star magazine in front of you.
I don't wait.
No, it was a big deal when they got arrested and everything. So I think it's totally possible that a snippet of this reached you. It was a few years ago, but
Or
still.
maybe I looked at stereotype people and went, this house, all this stuff, and he's Juicy Joe.
They also show her
Why
in
is
the
he
first
juicy?
season
What's so juicy about him?
that he's like muscular. She calls him Juicy Joe.
He looks like he could beat the shit out of every single human being on the planet Earth.
Yeah.
He could fight Superman.
Yeah, he probably could fight Superman.
But like he doesn't. He also doesn't look healthy.
No.
At all. Like I don't. It's he's interesting to look at, but you want to look away.
Yeah, no, there's a lot going on with Joe.
It's like a work of art.
They show her, when they introduce Teresa to the show in general, they show her buying thousands of dollars of furniture all in cash. She's just throwing down. She always pays in cash everywhere. So it really was not a surprise when all this went down.
I'm not shocked.
So that's the deal with Teresa. She is a pain in the ass.
Oh my God. She is a kind of person that I hate.
She's extremely exhausting. Yeah.
Like constantly just like trying to get the attention of everybody around, thinks that she's hilarious, thinks she's clearly uproariously funny.
Yes.
So what I saw was her telling, I guess, Juicy Joe,
right,
the story of the attack.
Right.
As if it paints her in a positive light at all.
Because
she was
it's
like, I was trying to get to her. And I was going to get in her face like this. And she runs up to her husband and she's screaming in his face. And he's just sitting there like he can't even move. I don't know what he's doing. But then she's like miming Danielle trying to get away from them and hobbling because I guess she hurt her foot or something.
Maybe she broke a heel or something.
Whatever. But she's like miming, like stumbling
because
away.
She's showing that she was like a tough girl.
Boy, what a badass, Kristen.
I know.
What a badass.
It's so stupid.
And then they're shooting pool.
Yeah.
Which I take to be like just like a leisurely, just like while they're talking kind of game. He's trying to break, right? So he's got the cue ball.
I know what you're talking about.
And she leans over the table and starts trying to mash her boobs.
Yeah.
Up, and she goes, she's just talking to the camera at this point or something. I don't know what's going on. She goes, "Gonna distract them. He loves the cleavage." And he goes, and the camera and she goes, "You like this? Oh, am I ruining your game?" And he goes, "No, I've seen him already."
He's such
and
an
it's just
asshole,
like,
this guy.
These people are like monsters.
I know. I will tell
They're
you,
like the Gorgs.
She's. It's funny you say that because her brother, her maiden name is Gorga.
No.
Yeah.
No.
So
she's a Gorgon.
Her name was Teresa Gorga before she married Joe Giudice.
Kristen, this is crazy.
It is crazy.
I think I might be an energist.
I think you're an energist. I will tell you, she has found love again. She married a guy actually at the chateau in East Brunswick, just this summer.
I remember this.
And I went to the chateau the next weekend.
And I crashed the wedding.
Yeah, no, if only.
No,
because there's like a restaurant attached.
You used to live in East Brunswick. The chateau. This is too close to our world.
I've been to the chateau. I went to a Firemen's Benevolent Association dinner there.
Which fireman? The Firemen's Benevolent Association?
Yeah.
The FBA?
That's right. When I was in high school.
What do they do there?
It was like an awards dinner or something.
This is too close.
I was dating a fireman, remember?
Oh, right.
Yeah.
I don't like getting this close to places where these people have been.
I know, it's pretty wild.
I would never go to the Franklin Lakes.
Oh, I would.
Sounds dangerous. Sounds explosive.
Probably is. So you also met Zen Jen. You mentioned her before. We really just sort of touched down on Zen Jen because another cast member named Dina uses her as like a spiritual advisor.
Right.
It seems like Zen Jen in particular, and I think probably all of these people who come to the Housewives' lives, like psychics and things like that, are all sort of like proxies for therapists, really.
Yes.
Like rather than going to a therapist, which may be stigmatized to them,
yes.
This is just somebody who there's still a transactional nature and a remove that makes it more comfortable to share things.
A little more parasitic.
Yes.
And unhealthy.
Oh, certainly. I'm saying from the Housewives perspective, for some reason they won't go to a therapist. That's like, oh, I'm not going to a shrink.
No, I'm not nuts. I wouldn't go to
Right.
a therapist. I'll pay an energist
Yeah.
to call me
Yes.
at all times of night and day when I don't even maybe feel like talking.
That implies that energist is like on retainer.
Yes, it does. Well,
I'm sure it's just
what?
for the show, but
what are they doing?
They're doing this
Nothing.
with other people
Oh, I felt like calling. I don't know why.
because I have nothing else to do and I need money.
And the cameras are rolling.
Right.
I know when you're filming, so I will call.
That's an example of something that was definitely set up with like the energist to call when Danielle's filming.
I think it's all slimy.
No,
And everyone's got it backwards. Therapy is fine.
Yeah.
It's healthy.
Yeah, totally.
Paying an energist.
I just think it's not likely as productive at the very least.
And
You know
the
what I mean?
feedback is probably not as pure and honest and true.
Yeah. I think it's great to get things off your chest, but they're just going about it the wrong way for their benefit.
They don't have the tools.
Who knows?
They don't have the tools.
They don't have the tools, but they clearly, at least it's something, I suppose. No, I know. I don't really think they do either. But Zen Jen is just a lady who comes over to Dina's house. Did you like Dina's cats? Grandma Wrinkles and Ladybug.
Guess what? Don't remember them.
Okay. Grandma Wrinkles is one of those hairless cats.
Oh, it wasn't 3 cats. It was 2.
Yeah.
It wasn't Grandma, Wrinkles,
No, it's Grandma Wrinkles.
Wrinkles is a great name for a cat. Wrinkles.
Yeah, it is.
Hey, Wrinkles.
But she comes over because Dina is going to have a showdown with Danielle, actually at a restaurant called Chakra, which I didn't have you watch. And so Zen Jen is just somebody for her to like basically bounce ideas and thoughts off of, like you would a friend or something,
like a
but you're
life coach.
paying them. They're like life coaches. And then she like, smoke cleanses Dina's bracelets, basically, is what she's there for. I just wanted to throw her out there. Something that I find interesting about the use of psychics, healers, spiritual coaches on Housewives is that it is often a storytelling device. Like
Right.
they don't necessarily, they can certainly, but they decide to spice it up sometimes, I think, by rather than having Dina call somebody and say, like just one of the other cast members, and say, hey, I think I'm going to talk to Danielle about this thing. To bring in a little bit of color, I think that they're like, hey, you have like a spiritual worker, right? Why don't you talk to her about it?
A spiritual worker.
And like it drives the plot forward in a more interesting way. It gives texture to the scenes.
But it's so underutilized in a way as well, where it's
We gotta have it seem natural.
Nobody has any questions about how or where these people came from. Where do you find these people?
I mean, the internet. You or I could have a spiritual worker, 1, 2, 3.
Wait a minute.
Frankly, we could be spiritual workers, 1, 2, 3.
Wait a minute. I don't think I could. Anyone listens to this show, they know that I'm clenched.
As long as they don't give you a goog. I don't know, but all the psychics always talk about how relaxed you are.
All the psychics always talk about it.
No, but multiples have told you that you had the gift.
Yeah, but then they stopped letting me come into the building. Remember, I got ghosted by psychics. I found some more, by the way. I can't even drive past a psychic establishment without wondering, what if I tried to go in there?
What if?
I'm like blackballed by the psychic community.
I know. All right, so let's move on to another city, I think, right? Do you have other things to say about New Jersey?
I have a lot of curiosity, but I guess you told me everything about Teresa. You think she's happy with this new fella?
Yes.
It seems healthy.
I like Louis. Look, I could go on. There's been some debate. I think he's a nice guy.
I'd like for her to be happy.
Yeah, no, I think he's
Though I found her very annoying.
Of course, but you're a human being who wants nice things for another human being.
Yeah.
Louis is extremely red. He's like so tanned.
He's like burned up.
Yeah, he's like
He's like all sizzled up.
Yeah, he is. But he does seem to love her. He lays it on extremely thick sometimes, which worries me. But I think that they're okay.
I think it's like he's
like
covering for something.
We're just like, I don't know, using her. He's kind of love bombing her. You know what I mean?
Right. Well, let's Real Housewives.
Yeah.
Implies in the name that these are all like, to be a housewife. The common parlance would suggest that they do nothing all day, and so this is all supposed to be them having brunches and stuff.
Right.
They're all business people at this point.
Totally.
Right? Like they,
yes. And many are not married. That's a foregone.
That's
not
gone.
a foregone. It's gone. Yeah.
Okay.
Mm-hmm.
And they're all doing the show. They're working because they're doing the show. This is a job.
That's a weird elephant in the room that sometimes they dance around. Like every once in a while, they'll be talking about how somebody doesn't do anything or they need a job, and it's like, we're not talking about the fact that this is your job.
This is your job.
You are at work right now.
You're working. If I can see you.
Yeah.
You're working
currently
right
at
now.
work.
Yeah.
I think the closest we got is one time, a cast member of Beverly Hills answered the FaceTime from somebody, and she was wearing an outfit that you could notice was in Talking Heads of hers. And she was like, hey, honey, I'm on my way to work.
Oh, that's interesting.
And that's like the kind of closest we've gotten to acknowledging that this is straight up their job.
That's like detective work. Who pieced together the outfits? Did you do this? Do you have like a board? This is what they're wearing in the Talking Heads.
It's noticeable. It's not like they're just wearing like a dumb black sweatshirt like me. They're doing like a crazy hair thing, so you can notice it.
I'm continuity proof.
Yeah,
you
right.
You can pluck me and put me in any scene. You have no idea. My hair and my beard length are the only thing that give it away.
That's true.
I dress the same every single day.
Yeah.
Yeah, the show's a mess. All right, so what city do you want?
It's a beautiful mess.
Yeah, what feels important to you?
It's kind of a small thing, but I really enjoyed watching this clip, and I wonder if you did as well. The Real Housewives of Potomac clips. That's the one where a mime is bothering.
This was bizarre. This was just like a little freak show for a minute.
It's short. There are really only a couple things from Potomac, but Potomac is currently airing, and I really love it, so it's sort of on my mind.
Where is Potomac?
It's in Maryland.
Okay. Mm-hmm. Oh, so we could go there as well.
Yeah.
Yeah. It's only a couple hours away.
Yeah. They ended up going to Potomac because there was one season of The Real Housewives of DC and it got canceled. Do you happen to remember when there were party crashers of a White House event?
Yes.
Okay, that was filmed for The Real Housewives of Beverly Hills. That was a cast member.
The
Salahis.
Like the Salahis.
Yes.
Bravo sanctioned filming crashing the White House.
They didn't know they were crashing it. They told Bravo or whatever, like, oh, we're invited to this White House thing.
Oh, the Salahis made this up entirely.
Yes.
What did they think was going to happen?
But they got in, so it worked. I don't know. So they have them.
Did they get arrested or anything?
I honestly don't remember, but they have them like in a limo on the way to the White House and everything. And then there is fallout from it afterward.
You're telling me they squeezed Juicy Joe behind bars, but the Salahis might still be walking our streets free?
I believe so, yes. Michelle and Tariq.
Huh, I'll never know.
I know.
We may never know.
But so I guess they still wanted something that was in the ballpark somewhat, and Potomac is.
Understood.
And when it was announced,
everybody out of DC. You couldn't just do more DC.
I guess not. When it was announced, everybody's like, "What the hell is Potomac?" And it's one of the best cities.
Understood.
Yeah. So there are two cast members who are having an argument in this clip that
it's almost irrelevant what they're arguing about.
It is irrelevant.
The argument is like some of these other things. The argument was interesting in and of itself. The argument is white noise.
Yeah.
These two people are sitting outside at a table.
Right.
And a mime walking down the street, I guess, notices them in the cameras or was hired. I assume.
Here's the thing.
Okay.
Was hired. He was delivering an invitation to an event. This is a thing particularly in
All right,
Potomac.
That makes more sense.
This happens in some cities, but in Potomac, for some reason, they never just like invite somebody. They always have like a thing to invite them to a party. And the mime was
like the glass onion.
Yeah, right. Yes, it was like the glass onion.
Highly recommend. Highly recommend.
Absolutely. And so, yeah, this mime was supposed to deliver an invitation, but like, I think that perhaps a lesser mime would have read the room and maybe come back in a little bit later.
No, this mime had the right idea. This mime knew how to
was just butting in, and Karen and Giselle are like, this guy needs to get out of my face.
They were mad at the man. They were angry at the mime man. The fight stopped being. They found a common enemy.
Yeah. Yes.
In the mime.
Yes, it's
now,
very funny.
I'm sorry to bring him up again. I felt that this mime looked like Donald Trump. I thought facially, his facial features. He looked like the man. I couldn't stop thinking about it.
I didn't notice, but I like that.
Go back and give it a look.
He was more spry than Donald Trump.
Oh, everyone is.
I know.
Do you know Donald Trump's theory that you only have so much energy you can use before you die?
Yes.
And boy, does he know how to conserve.
Sure. Is there anything in this? The answer might be no. Is there anything in an episode about like all the weird things that he believes that aren't upsetting?
Oh, absolutely.
You know what I mean? Like the conserving energy theory. These are like...
I think so. Although we're getting so far into like white supremacy.
I know. That's why I'm saying things that are
It's hard not to mention the elephant. Not that I want to dodge the elephant, but I don't feel like talking about that in our clubhouse.
No, I agree. I just... wanted to bounce it off because that is so
we've talked about his energy theories at some point. I don't remember the episode. Maybe somebody out there knows it, and I would love for them to share it, send it, clip it, whatever. We talked about what if there was a guide to the unknown high school.
Yeah.
And Donald Trump would be the gym teacher because he teaches like bonkers, like things no one's ever heard of before. You only have so much energy you can use. and then you die. Like, I don't know how that's quantified. I don't know how you determine it. I don't know how you do that. But anyway, he's the
and like,
gym
you know how
teacher.
the gym teacher would sometimes teach like nutrition?
Yeah,
a
right,
little
exactly.
bit? The Diet Cokes.
Yes, the Diet Cokes, the hamburgers.
Ketchup on steaks.
Even just having a button so you don't have to ask for the Coke.
Right,
With the
right.
button, it burns less fuel, life fuel. But
That is very funny.
Our math teacher was Terrence Howard.
Oh yeah, that's right. I remember this
Because
now.
he invented his own kind of math, because
Yes.
he doesn't believe it's possible for 2 + 2 and 2 × 2 to both equal 4.
That's right.
And it seems like that's where it begins and ends.
Man,
So
this show's
teriology,
awesome.
he's the math teacher at our high school.
Yeah.
I don't think we ever came up with the other subjects.
Nah, no
the
need.
teachers for the other, so that's it. It's just math and gym.
It's my 2 least favorite subjects of school.
And we teach, like
Yeah.
the unknown.
Oh, I'll teach the mystic arts like Doctor Strange.
Well, we have our textbook, which itself is the guide
True.
to the unknown.
True.
Like everything we've been talking about on the show is is a lesson. It's a chapter.
Yeah, that's absolutely right.
So that's a class, and then you have to go to. Yes, you have to go to math.
Other
I'm sorry,
school.
everybody. You have to listen to Terrence Howard talk to you about numbers for a while.
Oh God. All right. So that
Fill in the other teachers. Somebody fill out our staff at the Guide to the Unknown High School. Who else has like cockamamie theories about
Yeah.
English, history, science?
You know how for a
Enjoyably
while,
ludicrous,
for sure, there was a while where there was, I guess you would call it a meme going around, where it was a picture of like a cartoon lunchroom, and people would fill in people who are sitting at certain tables and be like, which table would you pick? Kind of like that, but for our faculty. So the
Yes.
teacher's lounge.
Fill in the teachers. Of course,
Yeah.
Kristen and I are in the table that's furthest in the corner
By ourselves.
by ourselves.
If it's like me in high school, my head is down.
yes, and we've got our
I'm sleeping.
backpacks on the other seats.
That's right. I have the hoodie over my head.
You can come over and say hi.
Yeah, you can.
There's no harm in saying hi.
Remember I told you one time that I was doing that at lunch? You know what I'm talking about?
You had your head down. You like basically fell asleep at the lunch table.
Yeah, and somebody put glasses on my head, so like my head looked like Cousin It, and I was telling you it was funny, and you were like, they were making fun of you. Like that wasn't like all together now laughter, but it was.
You weren't mentally present. you weren't there.
No, I was like aware. I knew what was going on. Okay. Anyway.
Yes.
I think there's gonna be some unused material in this episode.
Oh, I hope so.
A ton, because we're pretty much at the end.
You sent me a lot. Of
I
stuff.
think that I would like to finish where we started a little bit.
We open at the close.
We open at the close. I sent you stuff about Erica Jane's past life as a boy in Spain, right?
Yes. This I have to say, I feel like this was also something of a. It's funny watching these clips. Some of them you sent me were pretty short.
Yeah.
And I was, but they were so dense.
Right.
Even though there's not a lot of time spent on a given subject, they say a picture is worth 1,000 words.
Yes.
And this show is shot at like 24 frames a second.
Yeah.
So there's a lot to talk about, even though they're micro clips.
Right.
This is one of them where I'm like, not much happened, but there are ramifications and implications that are just.
I mean, she had to go and watch What Happens Live and explain further.
They're just bizarre.
Yeah.
So I did take notes, and I do have quotes from this event.
Great.
So this was Beverly Hills. Okay. So there's the psychic here, or somebody is like,
Yeah.
she's almost like sleepy, I feel. She was like a very kind person.
Yeah, just very chill.
But she told somebody about a past marriage. We're not to Erica yet, who is the
Right.
centerpiece. But she did have this to say. She goes, there was this story that, she doesn't explain anything. She just launches in, and you.
Mm-hmm.
There was this story that you were going to go to this place in Greece, and you missed the boat. And then your husband, you were married in a past life. Your husband came and said, no worries, I know how to get you there.
Yeah, this was
And
Dorit and PK.
What? What'd you say to me?
Her husband, I was going to say his name is PK. That's not totally accurate. His name is Paul Kemsley, and he
Okay.
goes by PK.
But what'd you say? This is Reet and PK?
The wife's name is Dorit.
Dorit?
Yes. Dorit.
Okay.
Of course, people make Dorito
I have
jokes.
no comments to make.
If that's what you were thinking.
Well, what else are you going to say? Let's be
Of
honest.
course they do.
Maybe it's not the most original place to go to, but what's anyone supposed to do when
I
you find
know.
out someone's named Dorit?
I know.
She friends with Toast-Eat? Has anyone made that joke yet? Is that new and fresh? Have I pleased you, sister? The only begotten daughter of Toastite.
That's so funny.
I am Toastite. All right.
Oh God.
So Dorit, I guess, Dorit then goes like, "What are you saying to me? Was this like a past life? What are you talking about?" She goes, "Yeah, I'm talking about a past life you had." Like, you have to like back it up and explain. Then she says something to someone about like their dogs. I see like a pink dog, and they go,
Yeah.
"Yeah, I have 3 dogs." She says, "I have 3 dogs buried in the house."
Yes, I know.
In the house, not in the backyard.
I think it was probably just a slip of the tongue.
What's that pile in the corner of the bathroom? Don't touch it. Like, horrible. But then she was also like, "I just posted about my dogs online."
Yeah. This is
So-
Lisa Vanderpump, for anybody who's wondering. Who's
right.
very mean to people on the show and is obsessed with their dogs.
Everyone's mean to everyone.
Yes.
There's a clip somewhere in
For
What
the
You Made
most
Me
part.
Watch where somebody's trying to describe one of their castmates, and they're like, "She's very like, she can be tough. She's mean. She's mean." Like got kind of real for a second. I was like,
Yeah.
every single person I've seen on these shows
Is mean.
is mean. You're all mean to each other.
They at least have the capacity.
You are
for
forced to
meanness.
be together if you want to get paid to be on the show.
Yeah.
And that's what the show's about. It's about mashing together
Yes.
these
Opposing personalities.
yeah, and just seeing where the sparks shoot out.
Yeah.
Film that.
It's absolutely
There's an explosion happening over there. Film that now.
Yeah.
If you get along fine, there's no room for you here. I'm sorry, Carlton, the Wicca, but you don't want to engage at all
The
about
Wicca.
your
Wiccan. If you're, yeah.
I don't know anything. I'm an idiot too.
No.
You don't want to engage on anything? We don't have a place for you. You're not shooting out fireworks anymore.
Yeah.
So
No, it's
get
true.
off the show.
Mm-hmm.
So let's get to Erica
Yeah.
and her past life. The medium, or I don't know what she is.
It seems like she's a psychic. I don't think
Psychic?
she's talking to dead people.
But she's talking about past lives? Like that's former versions
Well,
of you?
I think medium is well, maybe. I mean, medium is specifically talking to people who have died or like
Okay.
entities that are not with us. I don't know if she'd be a
it
psychic
feels
or
like
medium
a gray
then.
area, right? 'Cause it's
Yeah, I'm
about-
not sure.
A past life is about a former person.
I'm not sure what you would call that. I think it can all kind of fall under like the umbrella of psychic.
I get,
So that
probably, yeah.
works.
So she says, you have a very strong connection to Spain? It's like setting up on a talk show.
I know it's funny.
And she goes, "Yes, I do." And then she launches into like, it's so short.
Yeah.
But again, the implications.
Packs a punch.
It packs a punch. You have a very strong connection to Spain. Why don't you read this here? Like, can I set you up with this?
Yeah.
It's literally at the top there. So yes, I
Okay.
do. So I understand you, Kristen. You have a very strong connection to Spain.
Yes, I do. I was once kidnapped as a boy. I had a lifetime as a boy, and I lived in the bottom of a ship.
And they just move on. They don't dwell on it.
Right.
The camera just
But-
cuts away.
Shockwaves.
Shockwaves.
Totally. And in the Housewives community. Everybody was like,
What are you talking about? Don't turn the cameras off.
And
Don't move on to this person with their dogs or whatever. Or like Kyle,
Right.
little Lindsay Wallace's life was not all that exciting or whatever. Don't go back to that. Stay here.
What do you mean?
This is where it's happening.
She also is very good for an info dump like that just comes out extremely fast.
Erica?
Yes.
It was like Dan Aykroyd talking.
Yeah,
It
yes.
just like came out so quick and it was over, but I had whiplash.
There's
It was
something.
like being in a car accident. And you don't
well,
have
and you
enough
couldn't have set me
time
up better for what I'm about to say.
to be like, what just happened?
You could not have set me up better. Okay.
Hey, gotcha.
A couple of seasons ago.
This is your birthday present.
I know.
I'm returning the other stuff.
No, I want the stuff.
No stuff.
A couple of seasons ago, Erica also has a lot of legal trouble. That's not even, we can't even get into it. It's a whole big thing.
We'll be
But
talking.
yes, we
Because
will.
I love it.
Somebody's like, I can tell you're upset. What happened? She's like, Tom flipped the car and then it went down a hill and then it was snowing in Pasadena and then this happened and this happened. So yeah, I've had a pretty bad day.
Whoa.
So that got, you know how there are those signs that are like, in this house, we believe in whatever. That became a thing where a lot of people bought signs that just said like Erica's whole speech.
Awesome.
Mike got me a Christmas ornament that has Erica's whole speech.
That speech or this speech?
That speech.
Oh,
But
this is the speech.
this is in keeping with that sort of thing.
You have
Like,
a very
she
strong connection to
sometimes-
Spain? Yes, I do. I was once kidnapped as a boy. I had a lifetime as a boy, and I lived in the bottom of a ship.
I also just realized.
What?
Are you also talking about the fact that she has a funny voice?
What? Well, that was Dan
Aykroyd.
Aykroyd.
But still, you doing Dan Aykroyd made me think she does also has kind of a funny voice like Dan Aykroyd.
Really?
Yeah.
I think it's time for me to start describing myself as a mimic.
Okay.
You know how people do impressions say that?
Yeah.
Zoe.
I think you're a good mimic.
Zoe wanted me to sing Elmo's song
Yeah.
as different characters. And I did it, and it was great.
That's so cute.
I got a Big Bird. I've got an Ernie. I've got an Oscar.
She probably loved that.
It was a blast.
That's awesome.
Goddamn blast. And now I've got an Erica.
Erica Jane.
I got an Erica Jane.
Mm-hmm.
So she goes on What Happens Live with Andy.
Yeah.
As you would say. Andy Cohen.
Yes. Watch What Happens Live.
Whatever. This show.
Have you been exposed to this before?
No. I've seen
wow.
bits and pieces. Schnibbles.
Yeah.
And I have turned away.
No, like big celebrities go on it all the time.
Whoa, this show.
Who watch Housewives a lot of the times.
Whoa, this show. Andy Cohen, I guess it literally is live, right?
Yes.
Because there is a quality to live television when
Yeah.
sometimes they say something's live and you know it's actually been edited or something or
Right.
just too polished. He's not.
No.
But that almost makes it be so starkly unusual that I had a feeling of like, I can't believe this is on TV.
It's a wild show.
Because at some point, somebody says something in Spanish.
Mm-hmm.
And he goes, oh, Spanish, huh? Me gusta. Yeah, me gusta.
Yeah,
It's like
they
he
just
didn't
move
have it. He
on.
wasn't going anywhere with that. He
Yeah.
just wanted to say things in Spanish for a second. It got dropped.
Right.
It didn't take. It didn't work. It was like kind of refreshing to see something flop.
And it's a half-hour show. You're in and you're out. It's great.
It sounds...
You know what?
It sounds aggressive.
Kinda.
These
It
shows-
is hard and fast.
These shows are a little violent.
Yes.
These violent delights have violent ends.
Yes, they do. They're sometimes literally violent, but you're right. It is like fast.
Yeah.
It's an assault. They're making sure that there's always something to look at, something going on.
Oh, past life.
Very colorful. Yeah.
Teresa. Oh,
Yeah.
Gotta be careful.
Everybody is very strong. Like everybody is an alpha.
Yes, everybody's an alpha.
Yeah.
Great name for a show.
Like
by the way.
yes, it is. And they're separate, even if they're a beta
Yeah.
within the structure of their cast. In normal life, they are all
They're alpha.
alphas.
These
Yeah.
people are tap dancing all over our faces.
Yes,
We are the pavement.
that's right.
They
That's
wear the
right.
shoes.
Happily.
So he asked her basically like a follow-up. He's
Mm-hmm.
like, what was up with that?
Yeah.
And she basically has nothing else to say. She
I
just
know.
sort of reiterates it, but it's also interesting. She says that she had previously spoken with somebody who described her past life and told her, your family. So she says it the same way, which was almost weird. It was very Dan Aykroyd-esque, which was like, I was once kidnapped as a boy. I had a life as a boy. She uses the phrase, I had a life as a boy again.
Yeah.
That exact phrase. But
Maybe
then she
that's what
says,
somebody said to her and it stuck.
Maybe. Your family hired a knight to come get you. He saved you. You followed him to his, to his death.
Yeah.
That's what she did with that whole life.
Right.
She was raised as a boy. She had a life as a boy. She was kidnapped. She lived in the bottom of a ship. Her family hired a knight to come save her. I'm only just realizing, Kristen, this is the plot of The Mandalorian.
Oh my God.
And she is the child.
Oh my God.
They hired a knight to come save her and she followed him.
You're right. You're right.
She is Grogu.
Certainly less cute and cuddly. Erica has had quite an arc on this show.
This is inexplicable.
She's in her villain era for sure.
So somebody here is the Luke Skywalker, and there is a
Andy?
Darth Vader. Oh, yeah, it's Andy.
Yeah.
Andy Cohen.
Yeah.
But it was also puzzling to me because, like, in talking about it, they were like, "So you lived in Spain? You had a life as a boy in Spain." And she goes, "And we looked at my genealogy, and it does go all the way back, and it is from Spain.
Yeah.
So I do come from Spain." And he goes, "You have? Oh, that's what it is. That's how he gets to being like, mucho.
Oh, yeah.
Mucho gusto, biblioteca."
Right.
Move on, read the room, no one cares. But so her past life was her own ancestor?
They nailed it.
She
That tells me that whoever that psychic was nailed it.
It just means it was true that she's Spanish and she had a life as a Spanish boy.
Right.
Is that just like winning the lottery, or do you always have a past life that was in your own lineage?
I have no idea. I don't know. We've never dug into our past lives. You know, like we've talked to
Yes, you're right.
psychics and we've talked to mediums.
You're right.
We've never dug into our past lives, and we've never dug into, well, I have separately into my astrology a little bit.
I don't know anything. I want somebody to read my cards, and I
Yeah.
want somebody to read my astrology charts or whatever.
All right, these are all things we'll do in the future.
These are all things
But
that
yeah,
must
we
be
don't
done.
know. We don't know about our past lives. We'll have to find out.
Somebody who listens to the show and likes this show and does these things, you might be the right person for this, because
Could be.
you'll understand our shenanigans.
Yeah, where
going
we're coming
into it.
from. Yeah.
This would be good to
Yeah.
do. I want to know my past
Or
life.
Akashic Records.
Yes.
Yeah. Do you know what that is?
No.
It's like a.
You couldn't tell by
It's
the,
like the
pregnant pause. I had no idea.
I thought that we'd maybe talked about it before. It's like the etheric record of everything that has ever happened and ever will happen.
Oh, that's good. Someone's keeping that?
Yeah.
That's good to have.
It's up there.
It's good to have.
Yeah.
All right, everybody. I think
All
that's
right.
it
That is it. Yep.
for now. Because, again, there's stuff that's not making the cut. There's
We
a
didn't talk
cutting
about
room
New
floor.
York, which is huge, and Atlanta, which is also amazing.
Atlanta was crazy.
And Dallas was just like a blip, but still. I mean,
I
I think that a show could be Atlanta and New York,
Kristen,
really.
I'll talk about it all. Try to stop me.
Okay.
I loved it. And
Let's do it next month.
I want more.
Let's do it next month. We'll wrap up.
All right. It'll be
You think?
everyone's, like Christmas present or something.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
Okay, great. All right, everybody. Thank you so much for listening. We hope that you enjoyed this as much as I did. I guess as much as we did,
Yeah.
which is wonderful.
I had a blast. I loved it.
I'm very happy. Oh, I did have. I think that I'll save it. I think one of my questions was, did any part of you enjoy this, and it got answered.
Oh,
I have questions to ask you that I will ask you in part 3 of our Housewives exploration when we do it next month.
very well.
All right. So thank you all so much. As we said before, you can go to patreon.com/GTTUpod if you'd like to support the show. You can also go check out all the really awesome stuff that Willow's doing on the mythtraveler.com. And you can also go to gttupod.com if you'd like to know more about the show, visit past episodes, find links to things like our merch, our Facebook group, info about advertising. It's all over there.
Yes. Spread the love.
Yes,
Share with
please.
people. We would greatly appreciate it. Smash the like button.
Mm-hmm.
Share, subscribe, leave reviews, thumbs up. Tell the world. Tell people we need your support.
Yes, big time.
And also share the love with old Krissy here.
Ah,
Happy
shucks.
birthday, Kristen.
Thank you.
At
Thank you
Chillin'
very
Kristen.
much.
Shout it out, even if you're late. Why not?
Thank you very much.
This is a huge, important occasion. It only comes but once a year.
Oh, it's huge.
How are you all celebrating?
Right. I would love to know how you celebrate.
Oh, I would love to know how you celebrate Kristen's birthday. Send in
Yeah.
how you are celebrating.
Yeah.
We would love to know. All right, everybody. Thank you so much. We'll see you next time for some more spooky stories. But until that time comes, we must travel.
Back to the Netherworld, go we. Okay, this is not one of my planned questions. This is a genuine question. Out of what we just talked about, the cities we just talked about, who would you want to spend an hour with the most?
Oh, in real life?
Yes. So that's Beverly Hills, New Jersey, or Potomac. I think that's all we talked about, right?
I don't think I ever want to meet any of these people.